Of course. We'll call the Selectmen's meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Selectmen's meetings are subject to being videotaped. Your voice and image may be recorded. And we have a number of appointments. The first one is at 7:10, so we'll jump into a few administrative things first. Are people ready to vote on minutes, or would they like to defer that?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. Then we have, okay, we're going to take two separate votes because some of them, a couple of us were present. So, the first motion I would take is for all the selectmen, and that is the minutes of December 29th, 2014, open and executive session. The minutes for May 11th, open session. The minutes for June 8th, open session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any comments, questions, discussion?
I mean, I did read them, but frankly, I don't, there's nothing I can remember. I'm sure they're right, so.
Okay.
A long time ago.
I agree.
Okay. Hearing no further comments or discussions, I'll take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next are minutes for May 26th, open session, and May 29th, open session. Myself and Judy were the two present, so I would take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, any comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Excuse me.
That's all right. We won't count you. All right. We have next approval of it's kind of fiscal year 15 encumbrances. I think I'll hold that one because I think that may take us more than 5 minutes to discuss. All right. Okay. Next, we have approval of some licenses. We have a one-day liquor license, the Crystal Club Charity Open at Berlin Country Club. This is on August 8th of 2015. I take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments, questions, or discussion?
Open Club Charity. Sounds all right.
Yeah, I mean, they have these not infrequently up there.
Okay.
And we've never had any difficulties with them that I can remember.
Fee waived, as usual. No fee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I would accept a motion to grant the license and to waive the fee.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any further comments, questions, or discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have a public amusement license for Tricorp Amusements at Regal Cinema.
So moved.
Second.
We have signed that and then the letter underneath.
Okay.
Any comments, questions, discussions on this?
Is this the carnival?
No.
No.
No, this is just the
Pinball
the
machine.
pinball sort of arcade that they have at the cinemas.
Yep.
Okay. Any further comments, questions, discussions? All right, hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. And then we have a
Per device.
yeah,
So it's not-
a second related licenses for automatic amusement device licenses. This is for coin-operated amusement devices.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. I'm going to pass over at this point, just for a minute, the request, Walter, to discuss the MRI public safety reports, because I think that's going to take more than a couple of minutes, so.
Yep.
All right. We have, and I think we can probably still fit in, we have the approval of a letter regarding a visit of Mass Fish and Wildlife to the Wheeler Dam.
Didn't read it.
Okay. You want to, you want me to read it, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is to Nick Wildman, who's a restoration specialist at Mass Fish and Wildlife. Thank you for your site visit of the Wheeler Dam on July 6th. The Wheeler Dam and adjacent pond provides a significant opportunity for wildlife habitat improvement, especially for cold water fishery. The dam is in need of significant repair per letters from Mass Dam Safety to the current owner. The current owner has ignored the letters for years and has erroneously claimed that he does not own the dam, but only the pond and adjacent property. The landowner is willing to gift the dam, pond, and adjacent property to the town of Berlin. Berlin is hesitant to accept the gift unless the dam liability is mitigated. Removal of the dam seems to be the best option to remove the town's liability and enhance the trout fishery. Native brookies are in North Brook and tributaries in Berlin. There are two spillways requiring removal. It appears per our site walk. Such a dam removal would allow unimpeded fish movement in North Brook from Lester Ross Dam all the way to the Assabet River. Our request is that you conduct a site reconnaissance visit/report and recommend any possible funding sources for dam removal, and also educate us by identifying the likely steps required for dam removal, i.e. test sediment and pond for contaminants, etc. Thank you. Okay?
Yeah.
Sounded good to me.
Okay. Then I would take a motion to authorize this letter.
So move.
Second.
Okay, any further comments or questions?
Nope.
Okay. Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
There you go. All right, and it is 7:10, so we will move into our appointments at this point. Okay. Okay. The purpose of this appointment is for the Selectmen acting as Personnel Committee to approve a revised personnel classification spreadsheet, which will include Rescue Squad Captain and Assistant Chief hourly rates, and then as Selectmen to make the following appointments to the Rescue Squad: Assistant Chief Roger McManus, Captains David Kalami and Ben Matthews, and 3 EMTs: Devin Blakely, Giselle Bermudez, Jilson Hogan, and Eric Cavanos. So we will first, as sitting as a Personnel Committee, consider the changes to the personnel classification spreadsheet.
And that's on the very bottom. It's right next to where the fire officers are.
Mm-hmm.
The next column now is rescue officers.
Do we have job descriptions?
Are any of these new positions?
Yes.
So you created a couple, yeah.
That we went through at budget time,
Okay. Yep.
Do we have job descriptions in here?
not in the air.
Do you have job descriptions?
No.
Well, I think that if I'm going to appoint someone to a job, it needs to have a description. We discussed this when we talked about the money, the budget. We
I don't
wanted,
remember that. That's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
You can draw something up.
Okay. I would say since you're here, and if we have an appropriate job description, I mean, I think we are all in agreement
Yeah.
with respect to the classification and so on. And I personally don't have any difficulty with the suggestions for appointment, but I do think that we ought to have a job description.
We meet again the 27th.
We meet again, yep.
He was looking for this appointment to be retroactive to July 1, but you could do it that night as
Mhm.
well,
Yeah, we
before
can do
July
that.
payroll.
Okay.
Do you want to do that
do you
again?
want to appoint, do number 3?
Yeah, I was just gonna, you had to speak, just what I was gonna say. We could, however, and I don't have a problem with appointing the EMTs under the second motion. All right. So I think the record can say that as Personnel Committee, we've requested that job descriptions be submitted, and we will consider this on July 27th or the next meeting after we receive those. Okay. And then as selectmen, we will also put off the appointment of the assistant chief and the captains until we have the job descriptions. And then as selectmen, I would accept a motion to appoint EMTs, Devin Blakely, Giselle Bermudez, Jilson Hogan, and Eric Cavanos.
So moved.
Second.
Any further comments, questions, or whatever on that?
No.
Okay. All right, hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor of those appointments, say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Okay.
that's it.
Good enough?
Thanks.
Good night.
All right. We will move to the liquor barn transfer of license. Do the proponents want to come up and talk to us about that? Please go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Andrew Upton representing the Liquor Barn. With me is Steve Bevis, the proposed manager of record. We are asking for your approval tonight to transfer the liquor license from Berlin Liquors to the Liquor Barn in Highland Commons. Before we get into the details, typically we bring some floor plans or elevations, but in this case we have a video that really shows the inside of the stores as they are. It's a little under 2 minutes, so if you don't mind, I'd love to show it.
No, don't mind.
Always there's not many advertisements.
No
Where in Highland Commons is this going to be? Before we
It's next to Bed Bath & Beyond,
So it's in between Bed Bath Beyond and the pet
right,
store
the empty
place?
store, right, yeah,
That's smart.
right next door, right across from Market Basket,
How convenient.
exactly.
We are Liquor Stores North America. From Alaska,
said
where
North
Brown
America.
Jug holds strong and true to Alaskan pride. To Western Canada, where our brands, Wine and Beyond, Liquor Barn, Liquor Depot, and Wine Cellars join in the diversity of life that is Canada. Then south to Kentucky, where Liquor Barn USA shares the southern spirit of community and celebration.
As far as our total spirits number that's available in these stores will be around 2,500 to 3,000 items. I think it separates these stores. Most of the competitors will not have barrel selections. Most of the competitors are not going to have the quality of the selection. And the hope is that our growing consumer base and our whiskey customers feel the same way, that they feel like they can come week after week and find these different treasures we've gone out and picked. So we get enthused about them, the stores are enthused about them, the customers get enthused about them, everybody wins.
train our teams to understand the wines, not only the regions of where they come from, but they have a chance to try the wines, suggest wines to customers based off of food pairings, based off of price points, based off of what event that you're going to take the wine to. And we educate not only our team, but also our consumers. We have a vast array of all price points, Old World, New World, French, Spanish, Argentine, Canadian, American, New Zealand, you name it, we've got it. We seriously source the world to bring the wines to our customers.
It's great to see the local community supporting the local breweries. Craft beer is on the rise, so for us to have this amount of craft beer back here is perfect. With our draft bar here, we can focus on a lot of beers that aren't available in bottles, so people that come in, they can try something that they wouldn't be able to find in any other store. People shopping within a community like to feel that they're supporting the community that they live in. We like to try and support all of our local guys wherever we possibly can. That's kind of like a lot of the stuff that we like to collect on these growler bars, is stuff that you can find nowhere else.
We are about contributing to the success of the individual and community as a whole. No matter where our brands are, they hold true to the essence of family, friends and community, and sharing in the good times. We are Liquor Stores North America, there to help celebrate life's moments and memories.
Thank you.
Thank you. And as you can see, obviously that's a promotional video, but we thought it might give you a sense of what the store is about and also how it looks when you're inside and sort of approach to variety and snacks. So there are typically two main things to consider when granting a liquor license. And the first is the public need.
Yeah, first, could we just back up? This is a transfer of license, correct? Yes. And would you explain it's a transfer of license from where to where?
It's a transfer of license from Berlin Liquors to Highland Commons.
Which is the receipt package
Yes.
store.
Is it, it's not a transfer to Highland Commons, it's a transfer to
It's a transfer to Liquor Stores USA, which is located.
Yes.
in
Yep.
Highland Commons. So it's a transfer of license and a change of location of the license.
So it's a whole license, like
So-
the beer and wine and then there's the
Spirits.
sort.
Yeah, this is a comprehensive license that is
Okay,
being transferred. It's
Okay.
it's the license that used to attach to the Reese property
Yep.
and run to the owners of that. It will now run to the lessors of this store, correct?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I just wanted to
No, that makes a
get
lot of
that.
sense.
Which means they'll be closing, the winery will close down there.
Or it will operate under a
It's the next
under a
license
limited
area. It's
license.
the
It will
next
operate under a
license.
limited beer and wine
Okay,
license
okay.
at that point. Okay?
Yep.
All right. Sorry, I just wanted to set the
No, that's great.
context of it.
Okay. So we have submitted a comprehensive application, and last week we also submitted some additional documents, which I would request that you mark as Exhibit A or Exhibit 1.
It's
just
all
to be
here.
referred to.
That's,
So
I
they are-
emailed all that to the board. It's the supplemental
Yeah.
traffic study, the market study, and
A letter from our compliance consultant, just because
It's
I'm
all
gonna be referring to
supplemental.
those.
Yeah, okay.
So, Liquor Stores Market Research indicates that this is a terrific place for a store. Regional malls, it's a very good location. Our survey research indicates that there is a desire from customers of the mall to have gourmet wine and spirits shop there. We took a survey by means of what they call mall intercept, which means people go up to them at the mall and ask them questions as opposed to a typical telephone survey. And behind the family restaurant was the number one thing people were interested in, but behind that was gourmet wine and spirits, and it was ahead of pharmacy, discount store, minute clinic, all sorts of other choices. So there really does seem to be a consumer demand for this. And as you see, our product mix of high-end wines, wine education, unique spirits fills a relative void. Because there are not very many big stores like this that focus on education and tremendous variety. I mean, we will have the whole spectrum of products. It's not only expensive wine and unique whiskeys and bourbons. There'll be Bud Light and Miller and you know, everything in between. But there certainly is a market gap there that we're looking to fill. So the higher end, the education, the inline store, it's clearly what the consumers want. So we think it does meet the standard of the public need. The second standard we typically look at is the character and fitness of the applicant. And we are an international operator with great experience, great reputation, operating in several different states in Canada. And Steve's going to talk about that in a bit. Unique to this location, the opening manager, who we've filled out the forms for, who we are trying to qualify tonight, is also the CEO of the company. So the CEO manager lives about 25 minutes away, and he is going to be the supervisor, the on-site person. This is the first potential store for this company in Massachusetts. So I think it speaks to their commitment that they're bringing the hometown person to supervise it, to qualify as the manager, and to be on-site as it gets up and running. I imagine if it gets up and running, we will eventually have a more retail-oriented operations person who will file a change of manager for. But for now, Mr. Bevis is going to be the guy. He has, as I said, he has good experience, he has a good track record. I can tell you that we are committed to public safety. Service of alcohol is a regulated industry. We take it seriously. We have a very, very good track record. We will have all personnel trained by a nationally recognized alcohol training certification company. And in fact, Mr. Bevis has already undergone that training. So he is the first, and he will be the first of many. We have a compliance company that's run by the former senior investigator of the Mass ABCC. There's a letter from him in that package attesting to our compliance efforts. And as you've seen from the video, the company did about $5 million of charitable giving last year. So they're a business, they're here to make money, but they also contribute to the community, they support local organizations, and that's really part and parcel of how the company operates wherever they go, and in Massachusetts and in Berlin, it will be no different. So just a few of the other factors that typically need to be considered. We do not believe this will generate any additional noise. We do not believe this will generate any additional traffic. Traffic projections are already settled. We did a traffic count to judge what's happening traffic-wise now, to judge the impact of when the store goes in there, and it's as predicted, it's as projected. We will not add any additional traffic to what's already allowed and projected, which I understand is coming in somewhat under the numbers originally projected to begin with. There's no safety issues, there's no pollution issues. We actually believe that the traffic generation may be even less than predicted for standard retail use, because a liquor store typically generates ancillary trips from people who are already going to the supermarket. They go over and pick up their liquor, as opposed to unique traffic trips where people come additionally. So, obviously some people come just to go there, but a lot of that traffic count will be mitigated by the fact that those people are already there in the mall. So those are the factors that we'd like you to consider. We think this is a strong application, and I'd just like to turn it over to Steve, who is obviously a qualified manager, but also the CEO of the company, to give you a little additional flavor of what we're looking for.
Thank you so much. Thank you for seeing me today. Just a little about me, because I'm on the applicant and I'm the first store manager here. I was raised in New Bedford, Massachusetts, and moved there. I was 3 months old. Went to New Bedford High School, graduated. From there I went to UMass, Dartmouth, and then I worked for Grossman's Lumber for many years here. I don't know if you remember Grossman's Lumber. Yeah, so I worked there, and then I got recruited by Home Depot, and I moved to Atlanta at a young age, and I joined Home Depot when they had 8 stores, and helped build Home Depot through all those years. And lived in Atlanta. Then I moved to Toronto, and I became the president of Home Depot in Canada. And then I started my own business. I started Golf Town, and we opened golf stores. We opened some here. We opened one in Reading called Golf Town. sold that business to a pension fund, and all my children, I had 5 children, and my father's still alive, he's a minister. They all live here. My brothers, sisters, my cousins. So my wife and I made a decision to move back home after I sold the business. And we bought a house in Weston. And so it's been great. It's been here, I think, almost 3 years now. It's been terrific. And then this company called me. And they're a publicly held company. So they're on the stock exchange. The directors are the top-notch business people, men and women in the U.S. and Canada. Like Peter Lynch is on our board. Peter Lynch is was the CEO of Star Market, and so we have lots of quality directors. And I told them, look, I want to bring our concept to Massachusetts. It's our concept of high service, great selection is not easily found here. And being here, living here for 3 years, and then visiting my stores throughout, our North American Canada, I found that there was nothing like that really here in this state. And I wanted to bring that idea to the local residents and to friends and family. And so we made a decision to look into in Massachusetts, and we found this great location that we really like in Hudson. We like the market. We like its central. It's a draw, a regional draw, as you heard. It's right across from Market Basket, so it's very convenient. Our research shows that people buy the groceries, they come over and buy their wine, or their beer, or their spirits. So it's very convenient, and it's not a seedy type thing. It's a beautiful power center. It's perfect for our concept, and so I think that I know residents, the local residents, and the area residents are really going to enjoy all the services we provide. So that's why we're here today. Anything else? Did I miss anything?
Only that we expect to generate significant sales volume, which will result in some good tax payments, as well as to hire about.
Yes. Well, we're going to hire mostly local people, obviously.
People and,
because
how many full-time equivalent jobs?
About 40.
Be the sales tax.
No, we don't get sales tax. That state does.
No, I know. Was it 5%?
Just sales tax on alcohol.
But do we get anything?
No.
I mean, you get it coming back from the state, but it
But
doesn't go through.
a few things happen in between, actually.
I think they take a big percentage.
So what are your hours going to be?
And they, whatever the state hours are, I think they're 9 to
Drafted it
9, I
on
believe.
front.
It's in the
Ian
file.
had
I
directed
don't.
that you wanted these hours.
It's all regulated by the state, so.
We've made a specific.
So basically, you want the maximum
8
state
to
hours.
10?
Exactly.
Yeah.
8 to 10 and 10 to 8 on Sunday?
Which are the maximum
The
state
maximum state
hours.
hours.
Yeah, I think you can ask till 11, but we.
But we don't have to
typically
open
like
at 8,
close
we
a
can
little-
open.
We like to close a little bit early.
Sunday, I guess we don't have any say in Sunday hours, correct?
Sunday,
Yeah, Sunday
10 to
10 is
8,
the
but it
earliest
used to be
the
that-
state will
it used to be noon.
Used to be noon.
Yeah.
They just moved that down.
I'm interested in your safety issues because are you going to have a draft bar there? Well, we probably should
No.
ask the police chief.
No, we're not going to have a draft.
You're not having a draft bar?
No. What we do, if it's in other states, we have what they call growlers. So we sell a growler bottle. It's an empty bottle, and people can fill it. So you fill it, but you can't drink on the premises. You're not allowed to drink
I know
there.
you were showing me.
Yeah, I know. They don't drink. They can taste. You can taste 2 ounces. I think the state law allows 1 ounce to 2 ounces. Only 3 samples per person. So we'll abide by all the regulations. It's in the air whether the state accepts the sale of growlers. It's kind of a gray area right now, and they're clarifying that. So if it's legal, we'd like to do it. If it's not, we won't.
But there will be no
serving.
no consumption.
No consumption on
on
premises.
premise.
Well,
Except allowed taste.
Except the taste.
Except the tasting.
Which is a consumption to me. You're still, it's
Oh,
2
sure.
ounces, but you're still drinking it.
Sure, it is.
It is. Mostly it's little wine tastings. It's throughout all the wine stores, and we're allowed to, based on the ABC, we can allow tastings.
Now, we've had other applicants in here who have cameras and they can pull everything up on their iPad and see what's going on in the store. Are you going to have that
Yes.
kind of?
Absolutely. We have full security.
Okay.
Absolutely. Right at the register throughout the store, 100%. And the store's well-staffed, so there'll be a lot of people in the aisle, our own salespeople. So we always keep an eye out on associates.
And what typically would be the staffing on a?
On a Saturday, we have maybe 20 full-time equivalents on a Saturday, Friday night, Saturday. Those are our big days.
And
And
then
in the holiday season, even more.
And then on a more normal midweek day.
5, 6 people.
Okay.
Do I ask the chief?
Yeah, well, I wanted to see if there were any other
Oh.
questions from the board, and then I was going to ask for other town officials, and then I will ask for comments and questions
Okay.
more broadly. So, anything?
I'm interested in the public safety
Okay.
chief.
I don't have any further questions right now, so I'd ask if there are any other town officials or boards who have comments.
I've done a little bit of research. For everything I find very professional company.
Sorry, this is the police chief?
I have been in contact with Jim Staples, who will be handling all of their compliance training. We've had a good dialogue already. We've opened a line of communication should we find any issues in the future. And with his background with the Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission, it really is reassuring that they're going to be doing things the right way.
So you don't have any questions or reservations about the...
I don't. Everything I've looked at this far, I don't have any concerns. I think they're in a retail location. I think the concerns with other, applicants we've had in the past, I don't have those similar concerns.
Okay.
You're not concerned with going to Cabela's, getting your gun, and then going to get some liquor?
If the steakhouse opens next, it might be the perfect storm.
Yeah. All right. Okay, any other, do you have any questions of the chief?
No.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from town officials? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask if there are any other comments or questions from those attending. Okay, I note, Mr. Senni, that you're here and you're the conveyor of the old license.
I am indeed.
And my understanding is that River Bridge, finds this to be a favorable arrangement. Is that right?
We do.
Okay. All right. Any other comments or questions? Okay.
Means I have to drive 2 miles further. Get my wine
No, you can still get it at River Bridge.
Yeah, you can get your wine still at River
okay,
Bridge.
that's all set.
That's the rest of the story.
Okay.
All right. Okay. This is all right. So, hearing none, I would accept a vote to transfer the full retail alcohol license to Liquor Stores USA, Massachusetts, 1 Inc., doing business as the Liquor Barn, and in conformity with the representations that are made in the application materials.
So moved.
Second.
Any other comments or questions at this point? All right, hearing none, I will take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Thank you.
And there's only this, nothing else for... Yeah, no, I know that.
That's right, that's right.
Nothing that goes to the state at this point?
I'm gonna copy the state on that license.
Okay, good, okay.
There's only one post. Yep. that's-
Yep.
The outside down.
Yeah, no, that's why I was asking whether, because sometimes you have to do something for the
For the renewals.
ABCC,
For the
yeah,
renewals.
but not for this.
Not
Okay,
for this.
all right. Let's see how we're doing time-wise. All right, 7:30, man.
7:35.
Yeah. Huh?
In reality,
That's right.
it's
Yes, that's
7:30.
right, that's right. Okay, then we will move into the next item, which is to grant a limited alcohol license. This is to wines and malt beverages. It's a wine and beer sale license. This is an off license, as they say in the UK, not to be drunk on the premises. This will be issued to Berlin Liquors LLC and will attach to the River Bridge development, a standalone building of approximately 1,500 square feet. Do you want to come on up and talk to us briefly about this? I think we've already gotten, obviously, some background, so.
We were approached quite a while back and didn't want to give up the opportunity of a mini anchor. And everybody kind of likes having the Reese package store down there.
Mhm.
It's kind of had a good vibes scenario for decades, but when they came back a second and third time, it started to make financial sense to Riverbridge.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem like a great company. It's a good fit for them, but it's also a good opportunity for Riverbridge. I've always talked about trying to make Riverbridge the best it can be.
Mm-hmm.
The influx of income will be a big help. One of the reasons we said yes the second or third time they came around was because of the floodplain issues last July.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not short money, and it'll help us immensely. And we'll continue to run a tight ship. We won't have 14-year-olds behind the counters. We'll run it as we have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
16 years.
All right. Any comments, questions from the board?
Nope.
Been there a long time. I remember when the winery was built.
Yeah.
My father wired it. Been there a long time. Hasn't been much of a problem.
Any comments or questions from town officials at this point? I presume the police chief is okay with this because he, yep, and knew what was up. So, any comments or questions from those attending tonight, other than town officials? Okay. Hearing none, then I would accept a motion to grant a license for wine and malt beverage sales not to be drunk on the premises issued to Berlin Liquors LLC, William Matthew Senni, manager.
So moved.
Second.
Since we have no comments or questions, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I have some items.
Oh, yes.
I'll give them to you right now.
Okay.
That was the one you're supposed to see.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm in my office.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you all.
Fine.
Thank you.
In about 5 minutes. You guys all here for the discussion of the public safety?
That as well as I'm here with Tom on the IT.
Okay.
I can take this license.
I think what we're going to do is we'll go to that since we have so many people right after the. Is your discussion, the discussion you want to have about the public safety thing, is that going to take more than 5 minutes?
10 minutes maybe.
10 minutes? Okay. Do you mind if we take that now?
Go ahead.
Okay. That way,
Sure.
we can free up a lot of people's evenings. All right. I think, Walter, you requested that we have some discussion, as if people know, I think we're going to have the meeting on Thursday to discuss this generally with town officers and have a presentation from the developers of the report, but you'd wanted to speak about this at this meeting.
Yeah, I sent you a copy of a letter that I had sent to Alan Gould way back in December, laying out what my feelings were regarding the management of the fire department and missed opportunities. And basically my feeling was that this study never should have been necessary, and it could have been unnecessary.
Yeah.
And the
No, I was.
two public safety agencies, the rescue squad and the fire department, could have been combined a long time ago. And we could have saved a lot of money, and a lot of good men in town that resigned or won't have anything to do with the fire department would be on it. With the combination of the rescue squad, we wouldn't have a shortage of men, and if we did, it would be very unusual. But, I laid it out, the points that are important, and I just wanted, I thought we should have discussed this. In fact, I think way back when
you wrote it.
when Judy complained about the animosity there, and I said, why don't we do something about it? I thought we should have done something about it. That's everything in it is factual. and I'll stand by it.
There it is, it's right there.
Yeah.
Let's look at that side, I was stuffing around looking for it. Okay,
There's a copy for each of you.
yeah,
There's a copy for everybody.
okay.
But of course, I use the Solomon Pond issue as the indicator of the attitude
Yeah.
of the leadership of the department. Oh, I didn't see all of those. And it just, you know, that would have cut down 30–40% on the calls over the last 10 years, totally unnecessary. And as I pointed out, there's been enough mileage driven to drive back and forth to Los Angeles a couple of times that were just false alarms and unnecessary. And when the previous fire chief and the mayor both agreed, and the owners of the Solomon Pond agreed, it seemed to me that we just, at that point, you recall I wrote you a letter that we should have discontinued those calls, number one. In which case, a couple of good guys that resigned, wouldn't have resigned from the fire department. And I think that, and at the same time, the rescue squad just stopped going, and Chief Kyle totally agreed with it. I don't think they go now. And Chief Otto Rhodes talked to the chief over in Marlboro and had an agreement that no need to go. And it would have saved a lot of money, a lot of wear and tear in the equipment. But that's water over the dam at this point, except for the fact that it's a clear indicator of the attitude of the leadership looking to grow and expand for no good reason. And then that's buttressed. If you look at the report from MRI, it talks about the amount of incidents, particularly classified as building fires, when they clearly are not. It just seems that it's tendency to grow. I mean, we want to put the fires out, provide public safety in the best and most economical possible way. And I lay out a bunch of issues in here and positions that, in fact, would, as we sit here today, we would have both the rescue squad and the fire department combined. Denny would be long gone, staying up in his cabin in New Hampshire. We wouldn't be going to the mall. We'd probably have better mutual aid, and it would be more cost effective. I just wanted to point that out before the hearing, hearing on Thursday, because I'm a little concerned that there might be an effort to just nickel and dime this along. I think in February we got a chance to make a big change. Until that happens, I can't see an amiable combination of both agencies. After that, I'm sure it'll be easy.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to point out. You can read that on your own.
Nope.
Open to questions.
Thank you for that. Any other comments from the board?
I have a comment that you wrote this 5-page letter without ever telling any of us. And you mentioned another selectman. Who was the other selectman who would have said you were absolutely right?
Val Bradley.
I've never known Val to back down on something that she believed.
I had a discussion with it, Judy. And Judy, with respect to writing this out, you may recall that I tried to have a number of discussions with this board. And at one point, Chairman got up and walked out for a cigarette, declaring good lip sync what I had to say, while you sat there making snide remarks about what I was concerned about. If you don't want to listen, you might also remember when I stood up at a town meeting and talked about this. You got up, made another statement that was a little bit deceptive, waited for another person to speak, and then moved the question so that a discussion could have it. So if you don't want to discuss it, I put it in writing. It's as simple as that.
You might have given it to us.
I think that's what we'll take.
I think
We are a board, Walter. We're supposed to work
Like I said-
together, not going off on our own.
Judy, like I said, I attempted to do so.
Well, that doesn't explain.
From writing a letter to the board that took absolutely no action, to try and discuss it a couple times with this board, there's been no real oversight and due diligence with the operation of the fire department over the years, as I can see, where there's been any real corrections made. So I put it in writing, and if this is the way it's got to be done, that's the way it's got to be
Okay.
done.
I'm now going to say something as chairman, and then we're going to move on.
Okay.
I was the selectman who said I could lip sync this, and I can lip sync this speech. I've heard it more than I've heard the Gettysburg Address. We have committed, we're taking action. We've committed to a process, with a study, with consultation, and with a reorganization of the public safety in this next fiscal year. And we intend to continue with that, beginning with the town officers meeting that we are holding on this subject on Thursday night. I don't think there's anything new that's been said here and anything more that can be said. And I think we should stick with the process that we're committed to. I've said that before a number of times, and not try to turn it aside. And saying that, we will move along to the next item in the agenda, which is a meeting with FinCom. Thank you. Okay. FinCom.
First short of Hi.
Hi.
I only know two. The streetlights and legal, right? Are there others?
No.
Data systems budget discussion,
Tom will come back in for that, I presume he hasn't gone far.
Okay.
fire wages.
Municipal building electricity and town council.
Okay.
Also for fiscal year 16, the assessor's salary.
Okay, I've not been prepped on any of those.
All right,
So
we can help you.
none of them are on our agenda.
Okay.
I
Shall we
know
start with
it's
the
posted
town?
as a joint meeting. It does,
Yeah.
it would cover it, but I'm not trying to say that you're not.
Are you going to have a,
I don't know if I'll have quorum or not. I know that, I know Buzz can't make it. I was hoping Stan would be here because I was hoping to get the reserve fund transfers, but sometimes we'll hold our meeting open long enough so that those can be done. But things that require discussions are harder to do that way.
Sure.
Oh, we'll see.
up here,
Oh, here's Stan, excellent.
We figured Stan.
It's already got to the front of the line, guys. Yikes.
Chair?
Okay. All right, shall we jump right in with the town council expense? We are requesting an amount of $564.86. We've taken a number of measures. We've, deferred legal business that was not urgent. When we spoke to you about transferring the use of the town council, we said that we thought in good faith that we could just about squeak it out, but it was difficult, and we would have, I think, but for the recount, which of course we couldn't have anticipated at that time. And so at this point, following on all those conversations, we're asking you for a reserve fund transfer of $564.86 to close out that item. Any comments on that?
It's justified.
Right, and the estimate you gave us at our last meeting was about $1,000, so it's coming a little bit less than we
Yeah.
had feared.
Yep.
We're very thrifty.
Good.
We were thinking the same thing.
All right, so we as the Board of Selectmen need to vote to request that. We have it in front of us.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any further comments or questions on that one? Okay. Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor of requesting the reserve fund transfer in the amount of $564.86?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
And we'll return to meet after. But if you have questions, now's the chance to sort of ask.
June warned me to get copies, but if you're going to
Yep.
meet, okay.
Yep. She also sent me an email about making sure copies get left in time.
Okay.
I've had some bad habits of carrying my things out the door. She has to call me the next day.
All right. The next reserve fund transfer
Yep.
request that we have, and we have not yet, we're seeing this and we're voting on it at the same time. There was a scrivener's error from the revised budget for the assessors that resulted in an understatement of the appropriation of $328. What they meant to present was $58,928, and for some reason printed in the warrant was $58,600.
I think it's a COLA too, right? I think it was the COLA.
So that,
So you're asking for reserve fund transfer now for fiscal year 16?
yes.
So that to keep her pay equal all the way through the year.
Yeah.
They are asking for it.
Right.
So it's my
Yeah.
understanding that,
This is a one item, one salary
Right.
Yeah.
item
Yeah.
line, and they know that they're going to be short because,
Right.
yeah.
I think they, I can't remember what the contract did, something like,
Yeah, I thought the
it was
agreement was
like
we
a
would do it
year
at the
or
end
something
of fiscal year
before she would get an
16, but-
increase.
I mean, this is one of those times when you just know it's going to be short. I mean, they've contracted for
Yep.
a given annual salary, and the warrant item came out to 328, less than that.
Yep.
I would ask the selectmen for a vote to approve this request on the behalf of the assessors.
So moved.
Second?
Any comments or questions from the selectmen?
Nope.
Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
And again, you guys can
Yep.
go off and discuss those things,
Yep.
but that's the,
Yep.
all right.
I don't know where I'm supposed to sign this.
Right there.
Ah, I got an extra line.
Yeah, I think because,
Yeah.
The assessors.
all right. Now, what else did we have in there?
We
Item
have-
C, which is fiscal year 15, fire
Fire
wages of 228.55.
This is a reserve fund transfer?
Yes,
Do we
have
have
that here?
paperwork?
should be there.
Okay, just a minute. Did it get stuck to something else?
No, that's all, that should be all town council.
No, let me see.
That was all town council.
See, hang on. Yep, there it is. Okay, this is to close out fiscal year 15 in the amount of $228.55, and the explanation is given that the increase in call volume and the length of time per call resulted in this overrun.
Right. So their salary for their budget for the whole year was, I thought, about 46,000. I don't have that really in front of me, but we gave 5,000 out of the transfer from material accounts. We gave $10,000 in April, and we gave another $6,000 in our last meeting. So it was more than 50% higher than the budget?
That's correct. And when we discussed this at the beginning of the year, the understanding with the selectmen was that if we needed to, we would transfer monies over from the incentive monies to cover it. However, very late in the year, I found out from June that we only can transfer 5,000 of that. So the remainder of that incentive is being returned.
Right, but when we did that, we also then did $10,000 in fire rescues in April. So we've already transferred $21,000 before this request.
I would have to double check that. Yes, I won't disagree with it.
Right. April 8th, June 8th, and June 22nd. And it's another how much more?
$228.55. No, no, $228.55.
I'm much less concerned when it's less than $500.
Okay. I would request a Board of Selectmen vote to approve the request of this reserve fund transfer in the amount of $228.55.
Second.
Any comments or questions further from the board?
No.
Okay, hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go. And this last one, I think this last one for you guys, is a request for internal account transfer. We would like to transfer from public building electricity the amount of $389 to streetlights.
So moved.
Second.
The balance in the public building electricity is just a little over 2,600. The balance for the streetlights is 145, and this is within, obviously, the amount that we can do for internal transfers. So first, the Board of Selectmen, a vote to request this internal fund transfer is described.
So move.
Second.
Okay. Any further comments or questions from the Selectmen?
No.
Okay, hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go. And I think that was all we had.
And so with fiscal year 16 now underway,
There's a data systems budget
Oh.
discussion.
Yeah, oh yes, sorry.
okay.
You want to?
Can I steal you
Yep.
guys for a second? Thank you. So I was fortunate enough in early June to take over as the data systems coordinator. So, yes, and wasn't involved in the budget planning and how we got to where we are. But there have been some major changes from this year, from last year to this year. On-site services, who used to provide IT support for the town hall portion of this building, is no longer. Dan has sold the business and moved on. So beginning in mid-June, I've been working with Briley Systems to kind of as a stopgap of what we're going to do currently and as we move forward, and looking at what the costs are going to be. Unfortunately, the service and the deal that was provided by Onsite by Dan was at a very reduced rate to the town as a resident. We were very lucky to have it. So we're looking at some increases in the expenses. I've been working with Briley, trying to pare it down and trying to decrease the increase. But we're looking at an increase monthly of just over $600. It was about $1,200 a month with Dan. It's going to be just over $1,800 a month to go to Briley. But the big cost is that they do an initial baseline on every computer. They initially came in at an estimate of almost $6,000 to go through the 45 plus workstations on this side of the building, plus the library, 1870 highway department. We've got that down to about $4,600 with some discounts and trying to knock some of the units off that probably don't really need to be, we don't really need to spend the money on. The problem being is there was $50,000 budgeted for expenses for data systems, which was about a $5,000 increase over last year with what was done with the reserve fund transfers and spent last year. But we're looking at probably about an $11,000 increase if we were to contract with Briley between the $600 a month and that almost $5,000, just under $5,000 on the baseline. So I guess what I'm looking for from you is a little guidance in what direction you want to go in on this.
I did do the budget with them, and they did cut me down, and they did say to come and ask if we needed more money.
Well, as I said, we gave a 50% increase over the past year, and we did a warrant article of, was it 20? I don't know the numbers off the top because I wasn't prepared for this, but I thought about 27,000 to cover exactly this. And so I don't get how you go from something that was $1,200 a month to something $1,800 a month, which would be about a 50% increase,
Right.
which you should be able to do within your budget then, because you got a 50% increase in your budget.
No.
No.
The budget went up by 50%. You
No.
made over 100% request increase, and I thought we
No,
got
it went
No.
from- It was just under 45,000 last year, about 45,000 expended last year in the budget, and this year was budgeted for 50,000.
I asked for maybe 50%, and you said no. You said to come back and ask you.
Had I been told ahead of time, I would have brought the budgets with me and.
Yeah, no,
And
I
you
like I said,
said you
I-
also cut down my equipment request.
And
I did, because coming to FinCom saying we might be doing something in the future with
Yeah.
no
Right.
background to it, no rationale to the numbers, we're not sitting there just saying, yeah, maybe there's a neat plan that might show up and just give you another $25,000, or the computer stuff was $50,000. You know, I run a IT for a $100 million company, and I barely spend $50,000 a year on equipment.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
don't work for municipal government.
I work for a nonprofit that is entirely funded by federal government taxes, federal and state taxes.
So what was,
Well, I would emphasize, we don't have to come to a, conclusion.
No, I just,
on
I
this
wanted
today,
to
but this is
lay the
an
groundwork
advisory
and
of a
talk more.
situation.
I would be happy to
Yeah.
come
We
to
have-
maybe your next meeting and talk a little bit more about it, just as we look for the future, but I'm still gonna work with them to try and pare it down a little bit. I'm also looking at, some other vendors, but where we're already into the fiscal year and Bradley does have our system already as well as our servers, it kind of makes sense at least to start with, but that's who we utilize.
And I guess I would
I'm trying.
emphasize that
Contract.
we are highly dependent upon external resources, for this. We don't have, we do not have, anything that would be considered anything like a full-time position at this point.
Yeah.
Looking at this, so we are a little bit like Blanche Dubois and dependent upon the kindness of strangers. And I think that I'm very sympathetic to what you said before, that when we didn't have a plan and thought it might go up, you were loath to do that because, if you allocate the money, then people find a way to spend it. But I think what Tom is suggesting is that this seems like a reasonable approach, given the nature of our resources. So now, with a specific proposal in place, we need to get together and consider it.
And I would like to thank Tom for taking this on for.
We figured that he was probably the department head most qualified to do it because he's the only one who has a bulletproof vest.
I know exactly what this is like. I do this full-time,
Yeah.
and to my staff that do these sort of things. I'm familiar with the costs and familiar with how difficult it is to get funding for some of these things. I think that you might creatively look at the several open warrant articles that we have for computer stuff. That was my frustration. This town regularly passed warrant articles for computer stuff that never spent them on anything.
I think a lot of
and
that
never had
got
it.
spent in June.
Well,
But that's hardware, right? We would
well,
have-
and some of it could be
Yeah.
hardware, and so some of it could be, that
Hardware
it's easier.
hardware maintenance.
It could be easier to, because I've always had this crusade about I get upset that warrant articles get passed and sit open for years and get used on something that wasn't the original intent. And I don't think the taxpayer should continue to have these open slush funds out there. That if you helped close some of those articles or use some for some of this stuff, then the town has more money for other things.
I think we're in the process of discovery at this point. And I think Tom and I were discussing that some of this, even in the process of them reviewing the current computers out there, we may find others that don't need to be covered. But we may also find a few gotchas. The contract calls for licensed software, et cetera. So those are some of the things we need to look at to make sure that people are running current licensed software, that we're legal in what we're doing. So there may be some costs that we don't know about also.
Right.
I'll talk to June and see what accounts are open.
Yeah, and how they were originally written and whether or not any of those can be used to cover some of this stuff, so we don't, I hate it last year, I hate this year, that you start spending the reserve fund, 10 days into the fiscal year. We had to do some very creative things towards the end of this year because there were just overruns all over the place, and if we start on day one, it just makes things.
Having had this discussion, Scott, do you still feel the same way about your position, what you do, the amount of money in your company versus what we're doing? I mean, I believe in baselines. If
Right.
you're telling me you do more, a bigger company, more money, more jobs, and you manage it.
Yeah.
Well, he has an infrastructure.
I have an
too.
infrastructure too.
There's no infrastructure
And
here.
that's,
I'm
I get the
asking,
pieces,
yeah.
and I, a couple times have said I'd be willing to, I can't leave my job to do this too much, but I can look things over and offer some advice. I've not seen some of these pieces. It would not surprise me at $1,800 a month to support the computers of this town. I have worried about the computer infrastructure. I was frustrated previously where people were proud that we're still running software from the 80s when I think of what that does for security and features
That's right.
and other things
These
like
are some of
that.
the things we're going to be looking at.
Air traffic control is still running
and-
software from the 80s.
And do realize that sometimes you don't want to look too deeply because if he starts finding things that are compliance and legal in nature, you're then forced to spend money on it as you find it, as opposed to what might be.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, the ignorance is bliss sometimes. But yes, look at the warrant
Illegal
articles that exist.
When is your next meeting?
Our
5 minutes.
Yeah, our next meeting's in 5 minutes, but after that, I think our next meeting is looking at the mid-September.
Okay, maybe I'll send you something, maybe I can
Yeah.
come in and sit down and we can talk some more and
Yeah,
figure out how
and
we're
we can
gonna
exchange
push forward.
some emails.
If
between
nothing
there
else,
as
we
well.
might find that some of these funds that you're suggesting are open
Yeah.
might need some tweaking as far as transferring it over, as far as use.
Yeah,
goes,
warrant articles
and
are,
special- and
warrant articles are
special-
difficult to do that with, and I don't remember how we worded. I thought we tried to word the warrant, the 17,000 we passed at town meeting fairly flexibly because we didn't know exactly what was going to be.
Well, and
needful.
because
We knew we needed to do
previous
some improvements.
warrants have been worded so that all you could do was buy new equipment, you
Right.
couldn't replace
Right.
old stuff, so, yeah, I thought,
And whether or not evaluating current stuff, deciding whether or not it needs replacement can fit within the current $17,000 warrant article.
Yep, absolutely. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I just,
Yep.
like I said, I wanted to get you guys up to speed early and see where we're
Yep.
gonna go throughout the year. Thank you very much.
Thanks. All righty.
Yep. I'll shortly probably have a proposal to send over of when we shall have our kickoff Selectmen FinCom meeting for fiscal year 17. And that's what I had to spend some of my time doing today.
Time flies.
Yeah, October dates, that's only a few
Yeah.
days out, and then how that plays with potential special town meeting for the public safety stuff.
Yep. Okay.
And I have read that report.
Excellent.
hope you highlighted it, made notes.
And I did it on this, on a very long clay plate. So.
All right. Excellent.
Okay. All right.
All right. Maybe take a 5-minute break.
Sure,
All right.
since one of us is already gone.
Yeah. At least I asked.
Okay. Oh, I see.
All right, we're back in session here, and Mr. Baird has
Yes,
Conservation Commission items.
yes. First, I want to just check on a few things. Did Jennifer get appointed yet?
Nope, we
Okay,
have that
She is-
on, and we can do that while you're here because it's pretty
Number
close.
7.
okay.
We have, yeah, we can do, it's, yes.
We're struggling sometimes to get a quorum, so
Yeah, yeah.
I need all the people who can vote.
Okay. Well, let's move on to that, and then we'll also consider, actually, I think we need to consider the acceptance of
Number 6.
Skip's resignation to make the space for the others, so let's
That's
do
good.
that. Yeah,
So
so let's
moved.
do that first.
So
Actually,
moved.
not true.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need it for Jennifer, you need it for
I,
me.
Right.
Jennifer's taking Karen's place.
Okay. All right. I'd just like to say, because I've worked with Skip for years, he's a delight to work with, is hugely committed to conservation stuff in the town. You've worked with him even longer, and I suspect you agree heartily with that.
I totally agree. He's absolutely organized, efficient, and he's got a memory unbelievable. You ask him about some notice of intent 4 years ago, and he will know the details of it, and he follows through, and at the meetings, he's getting things done, and he's a real doer, and I was so glad when he took over as chairman, because he doesn't miss a trick, and did a great job. And he'll still be helping us out, which is, the town's very fortunate.
So I think you should note that down, that Selectmen Andrew and Bigford heartily agree on something, it must be right.
I felt the earth shake.
Yes, so I would entertain a motion to accept the letter of resignation with the addition that we issue a letter of thanks to Skip for his years of service as a regular member, and that we look forward to his continuing contribution.
So moved.
Second.
Any further comments, questions, discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I see we have the letter already, so it's a good thing we put
She's
that
so
in the motion.
efficient.
That one I wrote.
All right, cool. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay. All right, and then, let's see. We have appointments of Jennifer Francisco and Andrew Donahue as members of the Conservation Commission. I'd accept a motion to appoint those two.
So moved.
Second?
You want to comment on them?
Nope, actually, Andy brings something to the commission that I guess he was a site, or maybe still be a site.
LSP?
LSP.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So have you seen some emails that he
Yes, I
put
did.
out there?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
that will
yeah.
be some value that we don't have on the board. And another image we're trying to bring out now that with social media and webpage and everything, Jennifer is a social media person. So, but anyway, that might help us get more publicized so people use our trails and get more involved in conservation issues in town. So I can see that as a good thing. So she actually has helped us get a Facebook page up and running. Actually, you did most of that. You did most of that. That's right. But also tied in.
And you should all like it.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
town has liked it already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't-
And then
have to go
she's
look
done,
for
she's
it.
on Facebook all the time, so she's helping that. And also she has contacts with Assabit. So we are actually looking to get our website up because the website that we have online with the town does not give us the right to make the mods we need. We don't need Earth Day up there that's from 2 years old. I've talked to you about it. I've talked to his name, Garth?
Garth.
Yeah, multiple times, and it was more like, send me the information, I'll do it. And I said, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for so we can just, we don't need to rewrite the site, but we know how to put, I wanted permission to put it up. It's actually quite easy because it is WordPress, and I'm actually now involved doing it for another organization outside of town, but anyway, but he would not give that permission out. So we decided that through Assabit, she could write a site that would link our site on the town to another site, and we'll have our own website. And that way we can have control of it, and then whatever we do would not damage anything that Garth does.
Okay.
So that's the way we're moving.
She also weeded the garden across from your house the other evening.
Cool.
We all did.
We all did.
I was
No,
there
she's-
too for that one.
The short version is she's a marketer.
That's
She
right.
Yeah, she
really,
is a- she's a
really knows
marketer to
how
start
to
with.
reach out,
Great.
engage people.
Okay. I need to slightly amend the motion that Andrew Donahue to serve the balance of Skip Duggan's unexpired term, and Jennifer Francisco to serve the balance of Karen Sheffer's unexpired term.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any other further comments, questions, whatever?
Yes. Oh yeah, I got a whole list of.
Well, no, on this
Oh, okay.
motion, on this motion, then, yeah. So nothing more on this motion?
No.
All right, hearing none, I will accept a vote to the appointment of those two as indicated.
So moved. Excuse me, vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Keep your shirt on, Baker. All right.
Okay, so now let's move on to the open position. Because I don't know what you've heard, but the chairman position now is now open. I've been going over it probably last month pretty heavily, thinking about, do I want this? As you know, I've been doing the acting chair since November for Skip when he's gone. And I was actually thinking of taking it, but then more thoughts and a few recent events have changed my opinion to move forward, move elsewhere, because of, I can't run the commission the way it's being run now. Skip is retired, Walter when he was running, you know, and I've been on it for a long time. I was on it with you and
Yeah,
Preston
yeah.
when he was in town and everything, so it's
Yeah.
been, I don't know how many years I've been on this. But the new folks bring it. But I'm thinking now, like even today, I got 3 calls, 2 from Green Acres and the project manager up there, Kasuf's calling me. There's too many things that need to be addressed during the day that I can't do. I can't, you know.
Sure.
And there's things like, you know, I was late on the, order of conditions for Goddard's project over there, and you have to mail these things out to DEP certified, so you have to go to the post office. I'm not available during the day. So I'm going on and on trying to think, you know, Skip has done a lot of work, but he's also been able to take it home and do it. I'm not in that position to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to let the board down. Also, there's been a recent event that's troubled me and probably set me over the edge, is we do have a member who feels their personal views are more important than the conservation's. And that upset me quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. And so I figured I don't want to take that challenge on. So I'm thinking that what I'll do is I don't want to leave the town hanging. I will still continue acting, but I would like to make a recommendation that since we report to you guys, that if you can find somebody who would chair the conservation, I will.
Well, do we have full membership in it?
We do. I will relieve my spot for that person.
Is there anyone there who is?
I've asked and nobody wanted anything to do with it. I've been thinking about this for about 2 months now, and then lately it's due to a couple recent events and the thinking it over and the amount of work it takes, and me being in a startup company, it's just not meshing well.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to leave the town hanging. I really like conservation. I mean, I like the idea of what's going on in town. I like how we have 27% of the 20% of land protected here, and you know, there's still a lot of development going on. But that's another story. But
Is there somebody you could co-chair with that, you know, you have the, I was gonna say, you have the brains, they have the time to do stuff?
well, they've actually dumped. I actually asked this at a meeting, and they all said, we'll all take on extra activity, extra role. Maybe, I guess I gotta bring this to you and say, you know, I'm not able to answer a lot of stuff during the day. And since it's been run this way for many years, you know, it's kind of like, it's going to be a big change, because like today, I mean, that was his name. He's a project manager for the Green Acres. Anyway, he called me and emailed me, and then, you know, and says, "Ooh, I need to know right away, because I'm now going to keep the hearing open, so I don't want my guys to show up on Wednesday night, which they're scheduled for 7:30." So I replied back to him at lunch, but it just, you know, and I think that was forwarded on today. Anyway.
Conservation agents, some towns increasingly have conservation agents. that
Yes,
are staffed.
yeah.
Are you suggesting?
Yes. Well, I was here when we brought on
When I
help
get the
with-
calls
yeah.
in my office, I say, call Skip Duggan at home.
Yes.
And he flies down here and he opens up the files.
Right, he's available, right.
So now I would still be sending them to, I thought you, but
Yeah.
now if there's no one, but.
No, still do it to me until we find somebody.
Well, what
But-
about, you know, we have the senior work-off program, where you could get somebody, if you knew somebody who wanted to work off their taxes, and maybe
I
a
know
clerk,
that, yeah.
a clerk or some, you know, somebody who could write things up for you, and then you could just.
Yeah, well, just to let you know, a lot of change would be made, because I was actually here when you brought, I think it's Julie Pratt you brought on,
Yeah.
to help out, and we were, Skip and the group of us said, we will not use town resources, we're self-sufficient. Well, now we're not, at least, at, you know, without having somebody who's retired or has available time during the day to do this. We're in need of that. That's pretty much my, I mean, I don't.
If everybody works, and,
Yeah.
you know, it has to be the way it is.
Right.
So.
Okay, well,
I mean, you can, I know you said you wouldn't use it, but you could use Julie.
Oh, I would. Actually, I've talked to Mary a couple times coming down.
She
It's
has,
She is right out.
she is, she appears to be straight out with the workload that she has.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that you couldn't add more hours to her.
The type of work I would be looking for is, you know, we would do the paperwork, filling out the NOIs, this order conditions, all that stuff. I can't get to the post office, have them weighed, mailed, that kind of stuff. I believe the commission members themselves can pick up some of the weight, help me get some of the documentation done and everything in a timely manner. Otherwise, you know, Scott's been very easy with me, but I was late on this last one by over a week and a half.
Yeah.
But he didn't seem to be concerned. But
You should probably talk to Julie.
yeah.
The problem for Julie is that she answers to potentially 6 different bosses.
Correct.
Currently, she's really only working for 4 of 6 bosses, the planning board being the only one that's not using her.
Yeah.
But she's straight out now with the 3 inspectors and the zoning board of appeals,
Right.
which use her at night actually to, you know, take minutes at their meetings.
Okay.
If you weren't probably gonna need minute taking.
No, I don't need any of that. I don't need any filing.
But if
we
it's
can do
late
the
daytime
files.
support, you know,
Yeah,
you should probably
it's-
talk to her, and Larry, because he's managing her now in fiscal year 16.
Okay.
Well, this is good to know also, because its budget season starts in September again.
Right.
So if you wanted somebody, you know, a clerk or whatever you want to call it for the, for next July.
Well, I can't give her that much work. It's very short
Well,
term.
see, a
but it's-
senior
but it's-
work-off would be,
But for me to get to the post office is, you know, either Saturday morning from around, because the weekend, you know, lunchtime they're closed, and
yeah.
you know, I'm kind
Well,
of
do you know
straight. So.
anybody over 60?
I know the program. Actually, I'm doing that in another town.
Okay.
We use a lot of senior citizens for tax write-offs. Actually, we run a REIT watcher. So I'm involved in a herbicide project in another town.
Okay. Well,
So,
all
but,
you have to do is request.
But I knew when I came here today, I was pretty much thought that you thought I had the position. And I never said yes, never said no, but I said I'd think about it.
Mhm.
But due to some recent events too, I'm not sure.
Sure.
I want to.
Well, I mean, obviously it's a difficult position because normally the chairman is really chosen amongst
Right.
the committee.
I know. Yep. Yep.
We just appoint committee members,
Yes.
and it doesn't sound like anybody is feels
Stepping up to the plate.
ready. And I know you've got some new people too, and I understand
Right.
if somebody's new that they want to see how things are before
Right.
they do it. So.
Right.
So we've been a whole lot of help to you, I suppose.
No. Like I said, we don't have to make a decision tonight. I'm still, like I said, I'm not going to leave the town hanging. I can think about it some more, but there just be some huge changes being made, and I want to make you aware of that because I can't fill the shoes that Skip and them doing because they're available during the time. Mostly time.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, these are volunteer boards.
Correct.
And we have been fortunate in having somebody who's been around town. And if we are less responsive because the volunteers are not available during the day, there is certainly, I mean, that's to a certain extent, the way it goes.
Right. But you are on your obligations. You only have so many days with 121 days to get that COC out or the
right.
and the request. So that's the key.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess I'd suggest maybe discussing, sharing some of those things out, amongst people to see if, you can get some handoffs for delivery and stuff like that. And failing that, we can look at getting, in the short run, some support either from senior work off or, and I think it would have to attend somehow, getting more hours for Julie, if we were going to offload it that way. And, when everybody gets back in September, beginning of October, we're going to be looking at the budget. And if...
Well, I'm not trying to increase your budget. That's the last I'm a taxpayer. I don't want to increase your budget.
Well, no, I understand
know.
that, but,
Yeah.
my point about that is that if we have a board that can do its job and all that, but you don't have, everybody has a job, then, perhaps a certain amount of support is necessary. I mean, it is wonderful to do everything,
Right.
by volunteer, but if there are some administrative things that are just very difficult, we have to face those if they are there, and nobody, I don't think anybody, I mean, it's great for the taxpayers and everything if people do it on a volunteer basis.
Right.
But the key for the volunteer basis, I think, is to have, committed people who, will be at the meetings, who are sensitive to the issues and all of that. And then we have to figure out a way, once we have that, of getting the administrative stuff done. And if that costs a little bit of money, then it does.
Well, we discussed this briefly the other night at our last meeting, and clearly we can systematize a few things. For example, the different forms that you use are kind of scattered around a little bit. We need a kit with the right forms in them, easily available, instead of hunt for them all the time. There's a number of things that could be
and that's what I'm saying,
much more efficient at no cost.
Yeah.
And,
let's look at things, and I think that because we have until October, November in the budget process, I think it allows time to look at things like that. And if there are a few things that are unavoidable, then we also have to face that.
Right.
Because what I don't want to do is to frustrate or discourage people who have background and interest and commitment, and have them feel they can't serve because one or two administrative things. Because to me, that's a huge value that's lost.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let me keep thinking. I'm not going to change my. I mean, I'm not going to abandon the group or whatever. But I got to think things through here and see if I can make things work and.
And
Find a senior citizen.
Oh, I know. So, all right, well, that's pretty much I had for tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Welcome.
You anything else, Tom?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
What about the ZBA? I mean,
Assessors?
Assessors, do you have something?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, a point of personal privilege. I've been thinking about your last comments when I was speaking there, and once again at the end, it was this kind of sarcastic and demeaning remark, like you heard it more than you read the Gettysburg Address. Well, I can count the times. It's been about 4 times, actually. And I really would have preferred, rather than a slap in the face, that you would simply explain why you didn't respond to the letter, that we didn't have to go to the
Can I say one
mall.
thing? I didn't know who to speak to, so I meant to send you an email. The last 4 meetings, we can't turn that light on the back room. Know about
I
it?
told Keith. Keith was on vacation last week, and now that he's back, day 1 today, I'll jump on it again
Okay,
to
we're
remind
all
him.
trying to put files away after our meeting with our lights on our phones. It's dark back there in the cabinet.
I will bring it up to him
Okay,
again.
appreciate it, thanks.
I'll send
I
another
mean,
email.
so anyway, I've served as a selectman before. I've represented this town in the legislature. I have some degree of credibility. And you've always taken a position and demean it. And, again, I would have preferred that you said, Walter, I didn't respond to the letter and go and visit the mayor, and I sent a fire engineer because I didn't have the time or something, or refute the facts. As I pointed out, and I took the time to figure it out, that fire truck running breakneck speed through Berlin all these years could have driven 2 times to Los Angeles and back. It never was necessary, and it resulted in some people quitting, resulted in ridicule by a lot of people that had their finger on the pulse of things, not the people that aren't really involved generally. And it's been a big source of why that kind of running, why the rescue squad has always refused to want to have the fire department oversee them. But I really wish that we could talk without demeaning each other and being sarcastic, so I just wanted to point that out. I didn't appreciate that remark.
Duly noted, and I have responded several times, indicated that we did a study of responses to them all and so on. And, after I hear something a number of times, if you want to say it again, you know what my response is going to be.
The study was a setup. It wasn't a study.
It wasn't a setup.
No, if you went over and saw the mayor, I put it in writing.
He doesn't agree with it,
We
it's a
never would have
setup.
gone. And if you send over a fire engineer, all they want to do is more calls.
7 years
and
ago,
that's what they
our
want to do.
forefathers brought forth.
There you go again.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we
All
go.
right, moving along to the ZBA
Do we need-
appointments.
Are those need to be signed?
Well, we have to take the vote.
Oh, I thought they were the
No, this is number 8.
number 8.
This is, and then we have to go back to, the encumbrances.
True.
But we'll do 8 while we're here.
Okey-doke.
Okay, we have a request for appointment of Patricia Jackson to the Board of Appeals through November 30th, 2016, and the reappointment of Kevin Diggins to the Board of Appeals through November 30th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions on this?
No, they're good people.
Yep, I agree.
Really?
We do. We do agree from time to time, but there's some things we'll probably never agree on. Anyway.
Like running an efficient fire department.
Well, or something. Anyway. Hearing none, I'll accept a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There you go. And then, just so we don't lose track, I had bumped over the number 2. Because I didn't think we'd have enough time before the appointment. This is encumbrances of fiscal year 15 expenses that were accrued during the fiscal year but not paid. So I will go through each of these and take one vote unless people feel that they want to pull out any particular one. We have an encumbrance in the amount of approximately $356 for office supplies for Selectmen, number 1, line item 122. We have an encumbrance for town council. Do we know the amount on that? It's just the
We owe. Yes, we do, but I didn't put it in.
Okay.
I took the paperwork. I don't have it handy.
Okay. Well, it's basically the amount of the
Bill that has not
No,
additional.
hang on. What I was going to say was, it's the amount, the entire amount of the item, and then plus the reserve fund transfer that we asked for, correct? Wouldn't that be it?
It's whatever we need to pay after June. It's the second half of the June bill, which I think I have.
All right, well, you want to look at that while we'll go through the other ones for a minute? Okay.
June bill minus conservation and Northbrook Village too.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of these that aren't filled out.
some of them are that there is nothing that we need to handle. So some of them are blank. You can assign the second line saying, we're all square in that, we don't need to incorporate.
Close that off.
Yep.
Okay, right, okay. So, anyway, encumbrance of 300 for 151T council. What is that?
Town council, that was money that was held over from last year.
Okay,
in
this
case
is closing out.
We're closing that out.
A fiscal year 23-14 encumbrance of
Yep.
$23.20.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Ask any questions you have as we go through, because then if we're good, we can just vote. This is an encumbrance for the personnel committee in the amount of?
Nothing needed.
Nothing needed.
So that's
Okay.
just signing. Yep.
So this is, all expenses have been paid, okay? Actually, all right. Maybe it's easier to do these one by vote, okay? So
Sure.
we can just sign them. I'll start with this one. Okay, so this is to indicate that all expenses are paid for the personnel committee. We only had a $200 budget, so. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Dog officer, no amount, right? Encumbered?
Now that we've settled the rabies testing, right, there's nothing left.
Okay.
So that can be closed out.
Okay, so this one too is a closeout. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. County aid to agriculture, $6.99. That's a $1 item. Closing it out. Motion to approve.
Approve. So moved.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Workman's comp.
Oh.
There's an ending balance of only $26.15. Are we complete with this?
Yep. So,
All right, so this is a closeout. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. This is police and fire, sickness, and accidents. We have an ending balance of $49,470, but we have paid all the bills.
sickness and accident?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all set on that.
Yeah. So this will be closeout. All
Aye.
Aye.
okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
I voted, I'm sorry. Good, you agree. Oh, oops.
You cold, Mary?
I am. Is that weird?
Oh, you're skin and bones for heaven's sake.
Yeah, that's it.
We have property and liability insurance, similarly a closeout. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So I think I flagged
Okay, and then this is a special article.
All of them, the departments have asked that they remain open.
Okay, so it's do not close out the
Right.
article, okay. Okay, this is handicapped access for the Old Town Hall, correct? 97?
Yes, I think that's the one, not, yes, and not the
Yeah.
curbing one.
So we're being requested not to.
Not to close it out.
Okay. Any objection to that?
No.
We would just do
Yeah,
that way?
Of course I do.
You have an objection?
So what, how much is the money?
$5,936.05.
And why not close it out after the town vote?
It's prior years, special.
This
town
is a
meeting
special article, and
special
it's only,
articles.
these are special article monies that were voted. These are not,
Okay.
now we're
Got
moving
it.
into special
Got
articles.
it. All right.
Okay?
Yep.
So-
So move.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
And what I'll do is, as I read these, I'll just say any objection, just to move things along more quickly, and if somebody does, we can.
I don't know. Might need a
Okay.
battery. I had
This
them
is the
phone.
amount of 547, is Special Article 2008, funds for maintenance, et cetera, of the radio base station.
So move.
Second.
Okay, so no objection, I'll just see that. This is Article 38, 2008. These are, this is the matching funds article for grants. It has a balance of 514,148. Any objection to not closing this out?
So moved.
Hearing none.
Okay.
You'll
Sign it up.
sign it up.
How did that linger so long?
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, because we put it out there and we only use it when there's, you know, when a match is required. And we have Article 30, 2011 for curbing and sidewalks, $7,500. Any objection to not closing it out? Okay. Okay. All right, so that's that. This is special town meeting 2015, Article 9, inspectors tablets. The amount remaining is $6,000. Any objection on closing that out? Okay.
I think she's getting close on that.
She didn't buy them yet?
No,
Okay.
they just did some mandatory GOTMS webinar together.
We have Special Article 27, 2015. This is the Emergency Services Study, the amount remaining $1,350. There could be an additional expense, you know, related to this as we go through. Any objection to leaving that open?
No.
Okay, hearing none. All right.
Now, on the town council thing, if you're ready for that,
Yep, just a minute. Let me
Yeah,
get
you skipped
back.
some in the front.
Yeah, let me go back to the
Okay.
ones that we had in the front. I'm going to start from the front again. This was an encumbrance for $350-odd for selectmen's expenses for office supplies. There's no objection to encumbering that, right?
maybe like
You
$1,000.
gonna go through those again?
What I did was I was starting to go through thinking we'd take one vote, and then I said, you know what, this is going to get too complicated
All right.
because there are too many. So there's just like two or three that I,
Yeah.
okay?
Yep, sure.
So I'm just going. I know, I complain about you going through things again. I'm not going to do it myself. All right. This is a closeout of a town council
Fiscal year 14.
fiscal year 14, 23-20. We're going to let that go. Any objection to that?
Nope.
Okay.
Did you ever get any boxes?
4.
Weren't they gonna send you 25 boxes from Brackett?
No, I've not gotten that.
Hang on, I gotta
That's
find
weird.
the town council.
Because it's
I
July.
think the only one we
I know.
have left is the town council one.
That is weird. Huh.
So the special articles don't have a lifespan on them. We have to close them out.
You have to close them out. Yep. Did I give that? Oh, I gave that one to you.
But-
Yeah.
You have the
Yes,
town council.
Yeah. The only thing about this is, part of it's being paid by the Housing Partnership, or Montchusett, the legal advice. And
That should not be,
It's on this, though.
okay.
And so
Don't-
it's gonna be, it would be an unpaid town bill. That portion is gonna be, has already been passed off. A
Right.
redacted version of the
We
bill.
will
is
ask
passed
them for a correction for that, okay?
off. Take it off of this bill?
We are not paying that. That was not accrued to us or
It's already been
anything.
handed off. They're gonna try to get it from another source. It's not really a town obligation, it's just appearing here.
That's right.
Unless you want it, unless you definitely need it to be teased off of here. But that, be that as it may, anyhow, that's
Yeah.
being handled. The other part of this is that there's a
Yeah.
$204 amount from conservation. And so the amount of money that I sought in a reserve fund transfer from the town, for town council, does not include the $204 that's a conservation commission issue.
Right.
But I
All we
don't-
have to do is figure out what we're encumbering from this budget line,
Mhm.
which to me is the whole budget line, period.
So you're saying the whole amount that's
The whole
on
amount
that?
that is
The bill?
unexpended.
The entire.
This is.
How much is left in the budget
How much is left in the
line
budget line?
Of course,
Use the
I
loud
gave-
voice.
Yeah, because that's what, yes, sorry. How much is
For you.
involved in the budget line is what we're after here, because that's what we're encumbering.
Not all of it. You're supposed to be encumbering the portion that you have bills that need to be paid.
Correct. But because we have too little in the budget line,
Yep.
we know that. That's why we asked for a reserve fund transfer.
But I didn't ask for the entire amount of that bill, because that entire bill.
Right. But we can, but I think what I'm saying is, my understanding is, we can only, the encumbrance
We can only
is the
encumber.
unexpended balance of the budget line. And we know that the outstanding legal bills equal or exceed that. So we're asking to encumber the whole amount of the budget line. You with me?
No.
No.
And I'm not trying to be, I'm not.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess I'm not swift enough. But what I'm saying is, if they approve the reserve fund transfer tonight, that covers the selectmen's portion of that bill, we would have zero. Because if given the amount that we requested tonight, the $500 added to what we have still in that budget, we're gonna.
Right, but my point is, we have the amount in the budget line. We haven't expended it yet. We have a bill for it.
So you wanna know how much we have left in the budget?
That's what we're encumbering.
What did you put on the reserve fund transfer for what we
Yeah.
had left?
The 500-ish that we would need to cover that bill, that Copeland and Page bill.
That's what's left in the budget line.
Because then you wouldn't ask for a reserve fund transfer if you had more money, right?
No, to pay that bill,
Yes.
our portion of that bill, we need that $588 that they're doing.
I understand.
Okay. I can give you the spreadsheet.
What we're encumbering
Mhm.
should be on that reserve fund transfer, because it asks us for what the balance left in the budget line item is, right?
The amount that would be encumbering is what I just wrote on the last page of the Copeland and Page bill. It's minus Northbrook and it's minus Conservation Commission.
If you had enough money in this line item,
Yep.
you could encumber all of this, but we've just asked for a reserve fund transfer, so obviously we don't have enough money in the line item.
Yep, so you just want to know what's left in our.
Because we're encumbering the whole line item, because that's what we need, and we can't encumber what we don't have.
That's why we're asking for a
Yeah.
reserve fund transfer.
I was just thinking they're going to approve that tonight, so we would have that money tonight. But let me just get what you're asking for though. Hold on a second, it's right here. Which is here. Council. Okay.
Do you want me to run down and ask them? They're probably gone.
What I will
thought
do,
They left last week, that last meeting, and they were down there for quite a while. I can go in there and check if you want.
Well, no, if you have the number, we don't need to.
Yeah, no, I have the number.
Okay.
what's the number?
number. Did I put the bill in? I need to take the number out. 172302, right? Take that out.
That's what we need in total to pay this
So then the
bill.
amount remaining that you need to encumber that's left in here before paying that bill
Correct.
is $11.58
That's it.
and 16 cents. $11.58.
11:58:60. That's what we're looking for. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say balance of
So
June
I just took that number out.
2015
I take it out down below, up the
bill
top. That's what we have.
paid via, to be paid via reserve
True, that's
fund transfer. Copeland and Page Legal Services. So just so we have, sort of full disclosure here, we're saying that we are encumbering 115816, which is all that's left in the line item. And then I'm putting in a parentheses here just to, sort of for full disclosure, balance of June 2015 bill to be paid via reserve fund transfer. Okay, so we're putting people on notice.
172302.
Okay. And I'll put total 172302. Okay? That way, I think we've covered it. All right, so with all that
this back, or
discussion,
you want me to
anybody
have-
objects to encumbrance of
Here, Tom,
115816?
can you put that all in there?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for not using the loud voice. In training.
I just get enthusiastic.
No, it's good. It's all good.
Anyway, all right.
My house, we raise voices, use our hands, and sometimes throw the remote if it's handy or whatever.
That's why you know there's no remotes on
Yeah.
this. Okay.
Now I'm scared of the desk signs.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's maybe the downside to having desk signs.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I think that takes care of all of the various closeout items. And I'm going to take a moment to tack all these back together. There we go. And I'll put them up here with the bills, okay?
All good.
Apart
Thanks.
from, okay.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Let's see. We had this, I think the next one is discussion regarding scheduling public meeting regarding Maplewood Phil. The people who requested the meeting separately sent, I think you were copied on that, sent me a note saying, you know what, we've been out of town and everything, and
Really? No, I
yeah,
don't think I saw that.
and maybe they said that, we could just talk. They
Really?
just talk to them. There will likely be another round of, and I think people got copies of that.
Yeah.
There will likely be another round, if I haven't, because I just got it this morning, I haven't looked at the package to see if it's, personally, if it seemed in it. Okay, but there may be another
Round of dirt.
round of dirt.
Was that from Danvers up there? Was that-
Gloucester.
Gloucester, down here.
DPW.
Yeah, I didn't like the
Honest.
fact it was DPW.
God.
Well, they will, he will look at the,
I kind of looked at it and,
Well, you got to, LSP's going to look
Yep.
at it. They got to do the right sampling.
Yep.
It should be all right.
so,
Provided it's-
No need for a town council meeting.
yeah, well, I hadn't, yeah, I mean, I got that, no, I'll forward it to you, because I thought you were copied
I
on it,
don't
but
think
maybe.
I ever saw that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll forward it to you. I mean, normally when I get things, it comes via you, or at least you are copied.
Is that recently?
but-
No, I sent you an email last week just saying, hey, reminder, don't forget to connect with town council about getting a date.
It was maybe Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
It was after last it was
The
Monday,
holiday
Tuesday
weekend.
of last week, I
Okay.
thought.
Okay.
What I will say is this, and I'll say it on camera because maybe people will be listening, there is likely to be another approval. We will post details of it and so on. If people are interested in having one, please contact the Selectmen's office and we can set something up. All right. Yeah, she met, this at least responded, because I had written to her directly in June, and I was thinking, that's how she had my email directly. So she may have just,
Oh, she
it was from
private
Lisa
email?
Mary, yeah,
Oh.
and
Okay.
because I just sort of assumed you were on the list, but she may have just like replied to me and I didn't notice that, so. Okay. We have, here, do you want to introduce this one, this at long last? The electricity aggregation agreement?
No, I just want us to sign it so we can,
Okay.
we
All right.
agreed at town meeting and now
Mhm.
it's July.
Yep. And I think now the council are together on this, so I would accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any further comments, questions, discussion? I'd like to talk about it for a little while, just to keep you on the hook, but no, never mind.
My solar got installed last week.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
All right.
Not generating anything.
Okay, any comments or questions?
Nope, let's
Okay.
sign it.
Hearing none, let's take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
I don't know, Judy, this is quite an achievement. I bet the average person still doesn't quite understand. You might want to explain it?
It's not gonna happen for like a year. It has to move through the legislature. I mean, this is just kind of the beginning part of this.
Okay.
It's gonna take, I think he said between 9 and 12 months to get it. I think they have a bunch of towns that voted it and now he'll shepherd them all through.
But the goal is
department.
what? Was it a rough percentage, they don't know, percentage reduction?
I would say at least 10, 15%.
Yeah, okay. Hey, just a related question, what is your electric bill so month? Ours is always under 50, but I have,
I got a hot tub.
oh, all right.
He's
I,
electric shaming us.
Yeah.
I have 2 children with a lot
Mine's
of
around
electronic
60,
devices.
65, but we don't have air, we're sort of
Yeah.
like you, we don't have air conditioning
Right.
Mine's
or any
150.
sort of notable electricity,
Yeah, mine
maybe we don't
probably
use the
too.
dryer. And
Yeah, mine's like
Laundry,
150.
laundry.
yeah, mine's around 65, but we don't use a dryer and we don't have an air conditioner. So I think, if you added those two things in, we'd be right up.
Ours
where you
hasn't
guys
been
are.
under $100 in years.
You got a second fridge.
Well, my son moved out finally. That lowered it. With all those
What
computers.
number are you in the, they send that little?
Yeah, we're way at the bottom.
Yeah.
At the,
What number? 'Cause I think we're like 12 or
Pretty
something.
soon
Oh, I
I'll
like
have
that.
solar.
I don't know.
They say out of 100
Yeah,
comparable.
Gail, we're right down there,
Yeah,
on the very low.
but I think
compared
again,
to
if
your
you
neighbors,
don't
that
use a
thing?
dryer
That thing?
and you
I do
don't
too.
have
I know.
an air
I
conditioner,
got
then
two
you're gonna
tenants
be.
that use 3 times that we use.
Yeah.
in
Well,
a
don't
big
get a
house.
hot tub then.
Well, you want to hear, and this is a good one for people out there if you have an old appliance. We have, a small place on the vineyard. Nobody was down there the first year we bought that, and we had an old refrigerator from the 70s. And Jody gets the utility bill, and everything else in the house was off except for that refrigerator. Everything else was off. The hot water tank was turned off and everything, and because we hadn't been down there in the course of the month. And the electric bill for that house was higher than the electric bill for our main house with just that one
Wow.
refrigerator
Yeah,
running.
right.
So it just goes, it just shows you how, how one
Yeah,
appliance that
yeah.
is inefficient can just
Yeah,
really kill you.
Yep.
Well, yay for finally getting this signed.
Yes. All right. Did we vote? It'd be a shame if we didn't, Judy.
I don't think I,
You
no, I recorded it.
All
3-0.
right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, it was his.
Well, we'll see. I keep hearing that National Grid's rates are gonna flip up again in November, November 1st. And they are
Sign the green
definitely, they are definitely pushing along to get that gas pipeline in. I saw a full-page thing in the Boston Globe, the Sunday Globe, from some company saying they needed cheaper electricity.
All right then, there's that. Then we have an approval of updated subsidized housing inventory filings with DHCD. This is with regard to Berlin Woods.
You know, I have a question about this.
Okay.
I see on Zip Realty, it's called the Hilltop at Berlin Woods. And the address they're giving here is 1 Rhodes Drive. Who decides on street names?
The planning board and the town meeting actually votes to name them.
Defers to historical, right, on the naming?
Because I don't remember ever voting anything to have a street named after.
He said he waited for planning to come up or to approve or not approve names for the roads in his plans, and they never did. So instead of calling them A, B, C, and D, he attached names to them himself. Mark Roads.
Well, we have to accept them, or is this one of those?
Well, yeah, we will have to ultimately accept the road.
Well, I saw that and I was curious.
But you're gonna say he named it Rhodes Road.
The Hilltop.
Anyway, but this is something completely different.
Yeah, yes, I know. This is subsidized housing.
Yeah. And
Be nice if
this
we got some apartments in here.
indicates that there are 32 units in the developments, 8 are affordable, and they're restricted at 80% of average monthly income.
Did we ever find out if they sold the one in Sawyer Hill, the
No, I haven't
affordable?
heard.
No update on that yet. I suspect not. I marked that up for a follow-up with this board because Tom wanted to check in on that again in 60 days.
Yeah.
About whether your town wanted to use it, right?
Right. I was interested to see whether there was a movement, and Housing Partnership does have some money. So.
Did you want me to ask Eloise
Well,
about that, or do you?
yeah, I
want
mean, you
to
may,
ask her?
if you could find out whether something's sold, because there's no sense in talking about it.
jumping
if it's-
in.
Yeah. But if it hasn't sold by now, maybe let me know, and I can call Eloise and ask her.
It hasn't shown up on the Zip Realty, which I presume is MLS listings.
I don't know. Anyway, motion to approve this statement of affordable units.
So.
Second.
Any further comments or questions?
No.
Okay, hearing none, I'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye. Did I ever sign the electricity?
Oh, yeah.
No, but it may tell you.
Did
That would be nice,
I
Thomas.
shuffle that back in?
Yeah.
There you
Look
go.
at that. Look at that. Right.
Okay.
It's just so typical.
We have a Mass DOT non-discrimination assurance contract.
I'm not going to discriminate against transportation.
Just came in the mail.
Okay, and this, this is a certificate of compliance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, natural origin, including limited English proficiency. The Federal Highway Act, which prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex. The Section 504, the Rehabilitation Act, which prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability. Age Discrimination Act, Americans with Disabilities Act. and a number of sort of parallel regulations under those.
So why is this coming from the Mass DOT?
Because I guess the Mass DOT is passing along to us monies that were received through the Federal Highway Administration as part of this. So that they require this because we are the indirect recipient of federal monies. Okay?
So move.
Second.
Okay. Any further comments or discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I'll sign it unless somebody else wants to.
Nope.
All right. Okay, and this is vote to issue a letter in support of the lifting of the net metering cap.
So move.
Second.
Yeah.
The only thing I was thinking of adding to that was that we, as a community, stand to lose taxable income because Hudson wanted to put that, I don't know if you put it in there. Hudson, the town of Hudson wanted to put solar on the landfill.
And it actually chilled one of your projects.
It chilled, yeah, one of our projects is not gonna go through because National Grid has reached the net metering cap. So we're going to lose potential taxable income because of this net metering cap. Just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, if in fact it would pass planning board review and all that, but.
Well, but none of it's gonna happen at this point because they can't proceed.
Did that pass review?
What?
The solar farm on?
No, I
Never
don't.
passed
I
on
think
it.
because of the net metering
Metering
cap,
cap,
it was
they
withdrawn.
Oh.
But my point was that if the net metering cap were raised, then it would still have to be subject to approval. That was my only point.
And we'll never know now.
And we'll never, well.
As you wish, if you'd like it to be revised, I can revise it.
It was a nicely written letter, but I thought maybe adding a personal touch of saying that we are losing.
In vague terms, it did chill a project.
Yeah.
It effectively killed it.
Effectively killed a project that, for both the town of Hudson, who would be getting
I think that should be added in there.
a benefit.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Should be, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you vote for it, I can come in and sign it this week.
Yeah.
I move to accept that amendment as described.
I think that's
Second.
fine with me. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So when you make this up, you can just have it signed by the clerk.
Okay.
Okay? All right. We have a request for issuance of the letter.
Number 14.
Oh, yeah, we don't have to vote on this because we already voted on it.
Run for them apples?
Yeah. Didn't we already approve this?
No. You've done some bike events, but not that.
Okay. September 20th. Okay.
Run for them apples.
So where is the
5K.
path on this?
It starts at Shartner Farm in Bolton, and it somehow loops through Berlin, and then it ends up back at the farm.
Okay.
And the chief is okay with it?
Yep, and this is the second year for the run.
Okay.
Last year's was not eventful.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go. Last thing, discussion of mass broken stone.
Yeah, at the bottom there, I just underlined what his questions were. He's looking for answers on specific.
Okay. I mean, I think that the answers for the question is no. There is there's no complaint, right?
Right.
Just follow up on the decision.
Yeah, that is just to follow up on the decision.
Also, expected duration is a half an hour.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And what sites you want to see there, everything?
Well, whatever's in
You can
the,
drive, you can drive around everything we need to see.
Can you?
know, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can drive.
It's not
drive
extensive.
up top, you can drive and look at everything.
Yeah,
We should look at everything.
yeah.
can you see the fencing if you're driving?
Oh, that's a good point. That's up, well, I see it every fall when I'm deer hunting, and it's up and strong where
It is? The fencing?
yeah, wherever I've seen it. I haven't seen any down.
Oh, I thought that was the issue.
No, I thought there were some problems with the fencing.
You know, I asked him to take me up and show, but he never got around, or I wanted to look at it, but.
Oh.
Well, we can go look at it.
We can go up to, we can drive up there. We can go up to Freddie's.
Yeah.
And to look at it.
Okay. All right.
So that's everything?
Yep.
Just everything that's subject to the decision?
Yep. Okay. All right. Anything in miscellaneous correspondence that anybody has some interest in?
What is Executive Office of Administration and Finance email regarding online feedback portal launch? What does that mean?
Which item was it?
B.
Way
Very
down.
at the bottom, last one.
The last, it's not the last, it's the last
Well,
on
it's
that
last
page.
on that page.
Mhm. Do you want me to cut through the deck and find it, or?
If it's close to the bottom, you can,
Well, dial back 10 things,
10 things.
give or take. What are you looking, what are you looking at when you get?
I'm at, hang on.
You have to go back further.
I just want to see where I was. So.
Okay, there's my, go back a couple more. Just 2 more, actually.
Okay.
That's Kinder Morgan, so that's the next one back. That one.
Thank you
I
for
think that's
MIA.
it. Is it not?
Thank you for MIA.
Nope, go back. Oh yeah, there's a couple of my things.
Yes.
No, that's more Kinder Morgan.
Yep.
I didn't realize this was,
That's Kinder Morgan, the last one. Yeah, that's Kinder Morgan, so go back one more.
What are these, Mary? A
Sorry,
compilation of all the stuff you
what is
send
it
us
again?
emails on all the time?
Sometimes I send it,
Executive
sometimes I don't.
Office of Admin and Finance, online feedback portal launch.
Maybe you need to look through this because I can't find
That's
it.
probably it, is it not? Look at
No.
the short little letter.
It's Joyce Lamont.
Joyce.
Joyce is you.
Okay, she's after, it's right after that then.
Yeah, it should be the next one.
An executive order.
Yeah, that's it.
Governor, okay. All right. Governor Baker signed an executive order initiating a year-long review of Massachusetts regulations. Over the past 2 months, my office established clear lines of communication throughout the executive branch, developed an extensive internal database of existing regulations, and is now putting the finishing touches on an elite team of subject matter experts from across state governments. When the governor and I made this appointment, we said our goals were to make sure that state government speaks with one voice, and this will help Massachusetts citizens and organizations of all kinds grow and succeed. An essential step toward achieving those goals is gathering feedback from you and your fellow stakeholders, the very people that are affected by state regulations. To that end, we've established an online portal to solicit feedback. I hope you'll consider sharing this link with any individuals or shareholders.
Well, that was worth the search, wasn't it?
It certainly was. If you would like to take that copy and see how it is.
Link to regulatory review. Nope, thank you.
Okay. All right. You want to pick something more edifying next time?
That's it, I'm done.
All right. Walter, anything else? Anything you want to?
You're gonna strike a bunch of these, Mary?
Strike them?
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna keep on here, right?
No, these are
You get rid of these, yeah.
Oh, they're all gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
They're new every.
Old business, do you wanna keep, there's 2 things on
Yeah,
here,
let's keep
Highland
old
Commons,
business.
mitigation funds, disbursement policy and
Yep.
process,
Let's keep them on there.
and Pullman property.
But
I dropped off data systems because we appointed someone
Yep.
and he's
Yep.
handling it. so.
Our new appointee to one of the new appointees to our Conservation Commission had some interesting things to say about the Tolman property. He knows quite a bit about that
Oh,
stuff.
good.
So
Cool.
might be able to work on that.
So
That'd be great.
I would like us to schedule one of our meetings to make a decision on regional dispatch.
Okay.
We need to, I mean, I don't see what we gain waiting any longer. It's not like we're gonna get any more information.
Sure.
If you look at the calendar, do you want to pick a date or? Do you want to have the Thursday meeting first?
Oh, why don't we do the 27th then? We have a lot of,
There's a lot of- What's the next one after the 27th?
the 10th,
Let's do the 10th.
all right?
Okay?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
Anything else? All righty.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.